What if one of the most important spiritual texts ever written was intentionally removed from history? What if the Book of Enoch wasn't lost, but silenced? For centuries, people have wondered why this ancient text, quoted by early believers, preserved in the Ethiopian tradition, and foundational to understanding angels, the Watchers, and the spiritual world, vanished from the Western canon. Today, we uncover the truth. Why was the Book of Enoch removed? The Book of Enoch was not removed because it lacked spiritual value. It was removed because it carried too much clarity about the unseen realm, too much detail about the Watchers, the Nephilim, and the origins of corruption, too much revelation about the Messiah long before his arrival, too much insight into the spiritual warfare that institutions could not control. Early believers, including the writers of the New Testament, knew Enoch well. Jude directly quotes it. The early church fathers referenced it. The Ethiopian tradition preserved it as scripture for thousands of years. So what happened? First, the shift to Greek and Latin authority. As Christianity moved from its Hebrew-Aramaic roots into Greek and Latin institutions, certain texts were viewed as too mystical, too supernatural, or too revealing. Enoch didn't fit the new intellectual, philosophical framework. Second, the rise of institutional control. By the 4th century, councils and bishops began shaping a more controlled, uniform canon. Enoch's descriptions of angelic rebellion, heavenly realms, and cosmic justice were considered too disruptive for a religion becoming aligned with empire. Third, the threat to doctrinal simplicity. Enoch reveals a universe alive with spiritual beings, dimensions, and divine order. It exposes the origins of evil in a way that challenges simplified doctrines. It empowers believers with knowledge of the unseen world, knowledge institutions preferred to keep limited. And fourth, the Ethiopian exception. While the Western world removed it, the Ethiopian church, one of the oldest on earth, kept it untouched. They preserved what others discarded. They honored what others feared. The truth is simple. The Book of Enoch wasn't removed because it was weak. It was removed because it was powerful. And now, in this generation, people are awakening again. The lost books are resurfacing. The ancient voices are returning. The hunger for the original truth is rising. This is not an accident. This is a restoration. If this message awakens something in your spirit, we invite you to stand with us. Truth Seekers Ministry is building a land-based, spiritually sovereign center dedicated to teaching, healing, agriculture, empowerment, and restoring the ancient paths. This is not a handout. It is a hand up, a partnership in a community protected under the First Amendment and recognized through IRC 508C. 1A. We joyfully welcome prayers, support, a land, materials and supplies, volunteers, financial partnership. Every seed you sow strengthens the vision. Every act of support expands the mission. Every prayer fuels the movement. Together we rise. Together we restore what was lost. Together we bring the truth back into the light. So it is.